Freedom or No Freedom by Dayanna Sanchez. What did I learn about the Civil War that will help us with the LGBTQ issue that is focused today? Meaning of LGBTQ. L for lesbian, G for gay, B for bisexual, T for transgender, Q for questioning. What did I learn about the Civil War that will help us with the LGBTQ issue that is focused today? What I learned about the Civil War was that people wanted their independence, so that was the reason why there was war. I compare LGBTQ with slavery because there's people who back then who accepted slavery and there was people who don't accept slavery. So nowadays what the issue is, LGBTQ, they don't accept those people, and then there's people they do. So I found this quote that reminds me of this issue right now. It says, I have a dream that my 4 little children will one day live in a nation where they will not be judged by the color of their skin, but by the content of their character, by Martin Luther King Jr. So the reason why I got this quote was, why judge people by the way they think and by the way they change their gender? They're the same, they're humans. So why treat them differently by what they like? For example, slavery, there was people that didn't like slavery. And then there's here people that don't like LGBTQ people. So we should treat them the same, because it's just that we have different religions, but we have to accept it later on. Reasons why I compare slavery with LGBTQ. Facts/examples I'm going to use are South, North, Abraham Lincoln, and the 13th Amendment. Reasons why I compare slavery with LGBTQ is because, as I said in the beginning, there's people who like LGBT and there's people who don't. And then I compare it to slavery because there's people who wanted slavery and people who didn't. So for example, Abraham Lincoln, he didn't want slaves. He didn't accept it. He was one of the reasons why there were no more slaves, plus the 13th Amendment. And then in the South, there's where they wanted slaves. So there's basically a comparing a similarity in between them that makes that I compare them with. So that's why I compare slavery with LGBTQ. My reflections over this whole thing is that slavery is basically this is happening all over again, but now with LGBT. So my whole point is that why treat others differently, and even if we have a different opinion, a different religion towards it, why treat them differently? Like, my religion doesn't accept it, but I feel like later on we have to accept it. Because just like others had to accept that we couldn't have slavery no more, we one day have to accept the people that are LGBT. So that's my whole reflection about this whole thing.